Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in EEE Department, ISL Engineering College. So today we are going to see about the various iterative methods in power system operation and control subject. So previous classes we have studied about the load flow studies, then we have seen about the bus classification. There are three types of buses: load bus, generator bus and slack bus. So any of the out of four quantities, two quantities will be specified and two quantities need to be found out. Okay, what are those four quantities? These are the constraints in power system, that is active power, reactive power, magnitude of voltage and the phase angle. And then we have seen the nodal admittance matrix, equivalent circuit for taps transformers also we have seen. And also we have seen the equation for current IP, that is the nodal current equation for an n bus system. IP is equal to summation q is equal to 1 to n ypq vq, p is equal to 1 to 3 and so on till n. Okay, p is number of buses here. Then IP will be equal to ypp vp plus summation. I am taking out this term, I am taking out this q is equal to p, so ypp vp. Okay, so in this equation, in this equation I am substituting q is equal to p. I am taking out the term, so IP will be equal to ypp vp plus summation q is equal to 1 to n ypq vq. But here you have to mention what, q is not equal to p, because q is equal to p already we have taken out the term. So okay, from this equation what I can write, ypp pp is equal to ip minus summation of q is equal to 1 to n ypq vq. So vp is equal to what, 1 by ypp ip minus summation ypq vq. Now Vp conjugate into Ip is Pp minus jQp. Pp is active power, Qp is reactive power here. Okay, so Ip will be equal to what, Pp minus jQp by Vp conjugate. So substituting this Ip value in this equation, what we will get, Vp is equal to 1 by Ypp, in place of Ip, Pp minus jQp by Vp conjugate minus summation q is equal to 1 to n ypq vq, p is equal to 1 to 3 and so on up to L. So Ip has been substituted by real and reactive powers, because normally in a power system these quantities will be specified. So we are writing this Ip in the form of p and q. So this equation, Vp is equal to 1 by ypp, pp minus jqp by Vp conjugate. This equation will be the load flow equation where bus voltages are variables. So load flow equations are non-linear and they can be solved by two iterative methods. Today we are going to see these two iterative methods, that is Gauss method and Gauss-Seidel method. So first we have to apply this for the solution of load flow equation. Before actually seeing these methods, they are taking a specific example and applying these methods for the solution of load flow equations. So this is a 5-bus system. Already we have seen in the last class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 buses are there here. Y12 is Y21, Y23. Okay, here you can see the admittances also. 5-bus system has 2 generators at bus 1 and 3 load buses 2, 4 and 5. 2, 4 and 5 load buses are there, and buses 1, 3 there are 2 generators. Okay, so nodal admittance matrix also given along with this. So by using this nodal admittance matrix and putting this equation, that is Vp is 1 by ypp, this entire equation, what we can write. So here we have to assume bus 1 as slack bus. Okay, we are assuming first bus as slack bus or reference bus, that is V1 is equal to V1 specified fixed value. V2 is 1 by Y22 P2 minus JQ2 by V2 conjugate minus Y21 V1 plus Y23 V3. Similarly V3, V4, V5 also we are calculating by using this equation. Putting P is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on, and Q is equal to 1, 2, 3. We are finding out the values of V2, V3, V4 and V5. Because this is a 5-bus system. For 5-bus system we are doing, so that is why I am getting this as V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. Okay, this can be applied to n number of systems. The system can be of 2 bus, 3 bus, 4 bus, 5 bus and so on. So to understand the procedure for solution of these equations, we make simplifying assumption at this stage that all other buses except bus number 1 are load buses, that is where P and Q are specified. Oh, okay. So first bus is we are taking as slack bus or reference bus. Okay, other buses we are taking as load buses. Admittances and voltages as used in this equation are complex quantities, and number of non-linear equations is n minus 1. What is n here? Total number of buses in the system. So now we are going to see the Gauss iterative procedure for solving equations. We are first seeing the Gauss method, then we are going to see the Gauss-Seidel method. So Gauss method flowchart we are going to see now. So first is start. Read in system data and form nodal admittance matrix. Okay. So nodal admittance matrix, how to form, we have already seen in the previous classes. Okay. Now assume bus voltage as Vp is equal to 1 plus J0. Okay. For P is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on till N, and P is not equal to S, and Vs is equal to A plus J0. Set iteration count K is equal to 0. Next step is set convergence criterion mod of delta Vmax is equal to epsilon. Okay. First what we are doing, we are assuming a flat voltage profile for all nodal voltages except bus 1. Let slack bus be A plus J0. Okay. So here we are written A plus J0. Assume a suitable value of convergence criterion epsilon, that is, if the absolute value of maximum change in voltage between any two consecutive iterations is less than the specified tolerance epsilon, convergence is achieved and the iteration procedure is terminated. Now, after this, what we have done? We have set the iteration count K is equal to 0, then convergence criterion mod of delta Vmax is equal to epsilon. Set bus count P is equal to 1. Check for slack bus. If it is not slack bus, go to next step. Since voltage at the slack bus is fixed both in magnitude and phase, it does not vary during iterative procedure, and hence go to step 6 if it is a slack bus. Okay, so we are setting first bus count P is equal to 1 after convergence criterion setting, that is mod delta Vmax is epsilon. Set bus count P is equal to 1. Test for slack bus. If it is a slack bus, then you go here to this step, that is advanced bus count P is equal to P plus 1. If it is no, if it is not a slack bus, then solve voltage equation for bus P, that is Vp K plus 1 is 1 by Ypp, Pp minus JQP. Okay, this equation. Next is calculate change in voltage, that is delta Vpk is Vpk plus 1 minus Vpk. Then advanced bus count P is equal to P plus 1. Then check if all the buses have been taken into account. Yes, then you go to next step. Determine the largest absolute value of change in voltage, that is mod of delta Vmax. No, go back to again check whether it is a slack bus or not. Yes, advanced count by P is equal to P plus 1. No, again this procedure. Okay. So after this checking if all the buses have been taken into account, if it is yes, if we have checked that all the buses are taken into account, then determine the largest absolute value of change in voltage, that is mod of delta Vmax. Next, check if this mod of delta Vmax is less than or equal to epsilon. No, no means go to set K is equal to K plus 1. Again it will go back to this step, set P is equal to P1, P is equal to 1. If it is yes, calculate the line flows and slack bus power, then it will be end. No means again this will repeat. Set bus count P is equal to 1, test for slack bus, yes means go to advance the count P is equal to P plus 1, no means like this. Okay. So what we are doing, assuming the flat voltage profile except for slack bus, then the slack bus voltage is assuming at as A plus J0, and suitable value of convergence we are assuming here, and then setting the count as K equal to 0, then bus count is P is equal to 1, check for slack bus. If it is not slack bus, go to next step, calculate Vpk plus 1 and difference in bus voltage, then advance the bus count by 1 and evaluate other values, that is Vpk plus 1 and delta Vpk. Check if all the buses are taken into account. If yes, go to next step, otherwise go back to the fourth step. So determine the largest absolute value of change in voltage, that is mod of delta Vmax. If mod delta Vmax is less than specified tolerance epsilon, evaluate line flows and print the voltage and line flows. If not, advance the iteration count K is equal to K plus 1 and then go back to step 3. So it is possible to obtain significant reduction in computer time if all arithmetic operations can be performed in advance when they do not change with the iterations. Since P, Q and Y are at a bus do not change with iterations, the term Pp minus JQP by Ypp can be evaluated beforehand. So we are evaluating that beforehand. Let AP is equal to Pp minus JQP by Ypp for all, that is P is equal to 1 to N, P is not equal to S. So similarly BPQ we can write YPQ by Ypp for all P is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on till N, P is not equal to S. Q is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on N. With this simplification, voltage equation will now become Vpk plus 1 is equal to AP by Vpk conjugate minus summation of Q is equal to 1 to N, Vpq, Vpk, P is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on, and P is not equal to S. This equation can also be solved by Gauss-Seidel method. So in Gauss-Seidel method, new calculated voltage Vik plus 1 immediately replaces Vik and is used in the solution of subsequent equations. So these equations, that is this V1, V2, V3, V4 and so on, these equations in this case of Gauss-Seidel method. Now we are going to start the Gauss-Seidel method. So in this method, it will become V2k plus 1. Earlier it was V2, just V2, V2, V3, V4 and so on, that is 1 by Yt2. Now it is equal to V2k plus 1 by Y22 P2 minus JQ2 by V2k conjugate minus this. Okay. The general load flow equation resultant from Gauss-Seidel method will be as follows. That is Vpk plus 1 by Ypp Pp minus JQP by Vpk conjugate minus summation Q is equal to 1 to P minus 1 by PQ Vq k plus 1 minus summation Q is equal to P plus 1 to N by PQ Vq k. So the second term on the right hand side of the equation is clear because the voltage prior to bus P should correspond to the value as calculated during the current iteration. So procedure for solution of this equation will be outlined and we will see next, and takes into account the presence of voltage control buses in addition to the load buses. So following points must be kept in mind, that is the voltage and admittances are complex quantities. Buses 2, 4, 5 are load buses. P and Q are known quantities, whereas bus 3 is a voltage control bus where only P is known and Q is unknown. So these are the assumptions we are making. That is buses 2, 4 and 5 are load buses. P and Q are unknown quantities. Bus 3 is a voltage control bus. P is known and Q is not known. Okay. So solving this equation, that is summation Q is equal to 1 to N Fp Eq Gpq plus Fq Bpq minus Ep Fq Gpq minus Eq Bpq, where Ypq is Gpq minus JBpq, Vp is Ep plus JFp. After Q at voltage control bus has been calculated, it should be checked whether this value will violate the reactive power generation at the bus. That is whether it is less than minimum reactive power generation permissible or it is more than the maximum reactive power generation permissible. So this value should lie between minimum and maximum. So we have to see whether it is between those values or not, permissible values. Less than minimum reactive power generation or more than maximum reactive power generation permissible, like this. Here we are seeing here QP is less than QP min or QP is greater than QP max. So we have to check that. If it violates, the voltage control bus is made to act as a load bus for that iteration only, and the reactive power to be submitted in the expression for that iteration will correspond to the limit it has violated. That is, if it is less than Q min, the value to be substituted will be Q min. If the calculated value lies within the limits, this value of Q will be substituted in the expression. So what does that mean? That is, here in the flowchart you can see, if QP is less than Q min, yes means what? Replace QP by QP min. If QP is greater than QP max, replace QP by QP max. Okay. The violation of reactive power limit could be due to the specified voltage either being too low or too high. Since V specified, that is mod V specified, can be obtained only by controlling reactive power, therefore it is possible that we have specified V beyond the capability of reactive power generation of the generator. If the value of Q for a generator bus is calculated after assuming magnitude equal to mod V specified for that bus and phase angle corresponding to the value in that iteration, and if Q so obtained violates the limit, the value of voltage should be taken corresponding to the voltage in that iteration and not V specified. Otherwise, the voltage should correspond to specified voltage and phase angle as in that iteration. So now let us see the flowchart for Gauss-Seidel method. Start, read in system data and formulate nodal admittance matrix. Okay. So first we are reading the system data and formulating the nodal admittance matrix. Okay. For given number of buses. Okay. Assume bus voltages Vp is 1 plus J0 for all buses except P is equal to S, where Vs is A plus J0. Okay. First bus, first bus we are assuming as slack bus. Next, set iteration count K equal to 0. Compute AP for all load buses and BPQ for all buses for P equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on N. P is not equal to S and Q is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on N. Q plus P. Set convergence criterion, mod of delta Vmax is epsilon. Set bus count P is equal to 1. Slack bus. If it is a slack bus, yes means you go to this step, advance bus count by P is equal to P plus 1. If all buses are taken into account, yes means evaluate mod of delta Vmax is largest of the absolute voltage difference. Then if mod of delta Vmax is less than or equal to epsilon, evaluate line flows and slack bus power. If it is no, then set K is equal to K plus 1. K is equal to K plus 1 and go back to this. That is set bus count P equal to 1. So checking slack bus. So yes means we have seen. Now no. If it is not slack bus, is it a generator bus? Okay. Now we have to see whether it is a generator bus or not. If it is no, go to this step. Solve voltage equation. If it is yes, then go to next step, that is replace temporarily mod Vp by mod Vp specified but phase angle as in this iteration. Calculate phase angle of voltage, that is cos delta P and sin delta P, and evaluate adjusted voltage. EP is mod Vp specified cos delta P and FP is mod Vp specified sin delta P. Calculate reactive power now. QP is equal to F of E, FP. If QP is less than QP min, yes means replace QP is equal to QP min. No, then go to next step, that is if QP is greater than QP max, yes means replace QP by QP max. No means go to next step, replace mod Vp by mod Vp specified. Evaluate AP value, that is PP minus JQP by Vp specified. Solve voltage equation, that is Vpk plus 1 is AP by Vpk conjugate minus summation Q is equal to 1 to P minus 1 BPQ VQ K plus 1 minus summation Q is equal to P plus 1 to N BPQ VQ K conjugate. Calculate delta Vpk, that is Vpk plus 1 minus Vpk, replace Vpk by Vpk plus 1. So advance bus count by P is equal to P plus 1. If all the buses are taken into account, yes means go to next step, evaluate mod delta Vmax, that is largest of absolute voltage difference. Then if mod of delta Vmax is less than or equal to epsilon, yes means evaluate line flows and slack bus power. No means again set K is equal to K plus 1. So what are the various steps of Gauss-Seidel iterative methods? Number of nonlinear equation is n minus 1, where n is the number of buses in the system. This is the procedure that already we have seen in this flowchart. So this can be asked for long answer question. Then you have to draw the flowchart and write all the steps. Procedure, iterative procedure also you have to write. Assume flat voltage profile, that is 1 plus J0 for all nodal voltages except slack bus. Assume suitable value of epsilon, the convergence criterion, that is epsilon is nothing but here convergence criterion, that is if the absolute value of the maximum change in voltage between any two consecutive iterations is less than a pre-specified tolerance epsilon, the convergence is achieved and the iteration procedure is terminated. Set iteration count K is equal to 0, bus count P is equal to 1. Check for slack bus. If it is a slack bus, go to step 4, otherwise go to next step. Check which of the buses are voltage control and which are the load control. For voltage control, go to next statement, otherwise go to step 4. Replace value of voltage magnitude of voltage control bus in that iteration by specified value. Keep the phase angle same as in that iteration. Calculate Q for the generator bus. If Q lies within the lower and upper bounds, calculate the term P minus JQ by V for this bus. So repeat this for all voltage control buses and calculate this term and substitute this term in the load flow equation corresponding to the voltage control bus. Now we have to calculate the new value of voltage for this bus. If there are more than one generator bus, the voltage magnitude of that bus only is replaced by its specified value while calculating P and Q of a particular bus. The voltage of other generator buses will be corresponding to the value in that iteration. In case any or all the voltage control buses violate the reactive power generation, the bus will be treated as a load bus and the magnitude of the reactive power at this bus will correspond to the limit it has violated. And the value of magnitude of voltage will correspond to the value in that iteration. And then go to next step. So for bus P, evaluate Vpk plus 1 and change in voltage delta Vpk is Vpk plus 1 minus Vpk. Okay. So Vpk plus 1, from this equation you can calculate Vpk plus 1 by Ypp PP minus JQP by VPK conjugate minus summation Q is equal to 1 to P minus 1 by PQ VQ K plus 1 minus summation Q is equal to P plus 1 to N by PQ VQ K. Okay. Advance the bus count by 1 and check if all the buses have been taken into account. If yes, go to next step, otherwise go to step 1C. Find out the largest of the absolute value of the change in voltage. If this is less than a pre-specified tolerance, move on to next step, otherwise go to step 2. Calculate the injected powers and the line flows using the nodal voltages. So flowchart is shown here. This flowchart includes the presence of voltage control buses and the simplification of the computational procedure. It is found in practice that the process of convergence due to Gauss-Seidel method is slow. That is, it requires large number of iterations. Okay, this is the disadvantage of Gauss-Seidel method, that it requires large number of iterations before a solution is obtained. The process of convergence can be speeded up if the voltage correction during consecutive iteration is modified to Vp accelerated K plus 1 is Vpk plus alpha Vpk plus 1 minus Vpk. Okay, what is alpha here? Alpha is known as acceleration factor and is a real number. So a suitable value of alpha for a particular system can be obtained by running trial load flows. Alpha is equal to 1.6 is a general recommended value for most of the systems. However, it may be noted that a wrong selection of alpha may result in slower convergence and sometimes even result in divergence from the solution. Okay, so why we require this alpha acceleration factor? To speed up the process of convergence during consecutive iteration. Okay, to speed up this voltage correction, we are using Vp accelerated K plus 1 is equal to Vpk plus alpha into Vpk plus 1 minus Vpk. So after running trial load flows, we have found out the alpha value to be 1.6. It is a general recommended value for most of the systems. So, but no, there is a note here that wrong selection of alpha may result in slower convergence and sometimes even result in divergence from the solution. Okay. So, today's class we have seen the two iterative methods, that is Gauss method and Gauss-Seidel method. So, nodal current equation we have seen here. IP is summation Q is equal to 1 to N YPQ VQ, P is equal to 1 to 3 and so on till N. Then from this what we have done, we have taken Q is equal to P and taken out this term outside. So, that is YPP PVP plus summation Q is equal to 1 to N YPQ VQ. Then VP is equal to IP by YPP, or I can take 1 by YPP common and IP minus summation we can take. Okay. So, Vp is equal to what? IP by YPP minus 1 by YPP summation Q is equal to 1 to N YPQ VQ. Vp conjugate into IP is PP minus JPQ, or IP is equal to PP minus JQP by Vp conjugate. So, substituting this IP value in this equation, what we are going to get? Vp as this. Okay. So, we have to remember these equations, that is Vp is 1 by YPP, PP minus JQP by Vp conjugate minus summation Q is equal to 1 to N YPQ VQ. P is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on N. Then we have seen that for a 5-bus system like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buses are there here. So 2 generators are there at buses 1 and 3 and 3 load buses 2, 4, 5. Okay. Loads are there at buses 2, 4, 5. Generators are there at buses 1 and 3. So if we are assuming here bus 1 as a slack bus, then we are finding out the values of V2, V3, V4, V5. So substituting in this equation, P and Q values, we are finding out the values of V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. The next what we are seeing, admittances and voltages as used in these equations are complex quantities and the number of non-linear equations is n minus 1. N is the total number of buses in the system. Okay, Gauss method, we have seen the flow chart here. So, flow chart for Gauss method is that first you have to start reading system data, form nodal admittance matrix, assume bus voltage as Vp is 1 plus J0 and Vs is equal to A plus J0. Iteration count you have to set a K is equal to 0. Then set convergence criterion mod of delta Vmax is epsilon. Set bus count P is equal to 1. Test for slack bus. Yes means what? Go to advanced bus count P is equal to P plus 1. No means solve the voltage equation Vp K plus 1 Then solving equation, then calculate the change in voltage delta Vpk is Vpk plus 1 minus Vpk. Advance bus count by P is equal to P plus 1. Check if all buses have been taken into account. Yes means go to next step, determine the largest absolute value of change in voltage. Mod of delta Vmax. Check if mod of delta Vmax is less than or equal to epsilon. No means set k is equal to k plus 1. Go back to this, that is set bus count P is equal to 1. Again steps will be followed. Then check if the mod of delta Vmax is less than or equal to epsilon. Yes means calculate the line flows and slack bus power. So here it is possible to obtain significant reduction in computer time if all arithmetic operations can be performed in advance when they do not change with the iterations. AP value we have seen, AP is PP minus JQP by YPP, VPQ is YPQ by YPP, and VPK plus 1 we can write as AP by VPK conjugate minus summation Q is equal to 1 to n VPQ VPK. So we are solving by Gauss-Seidel method. In this method what we are doing, VIK plus 1 is replaced by VIK, and we have found the new equations for V2, V3, V4, V5, that is K plus 1 we have done here. V2 K plus 1 is equal to 1 by Y22 P2 minus JQ2 by V2 K conjugate minus Y21 V1 plus Y23 V3 K. So similarly V3 K plus 1, V4 K plus 1, V5 K plus 1. The general load flow equation from Gauss-Seidel method will be as follows. So, students, you have to remember this equation, that is Vpk plus 1 is 1 by Ypp, Pp minus Jqp by Vpk conjugate minus summation Q is equal to 1 to P minus 1 Ypq Vq K plus 1 minus summation Q is equal to P plus 1 to n Ypq Vq K. So buses 2, 4 and 5 are load buses. P and Q will be known quantities, whereas bus 3 is a voltage control bus. P is known and Q is unknown here. Okay. So QP value we have found out, summation Q is equal to 1 to n FP EQ GPQ plus FQ BPQ minus EP FQ GPQ minus EQ BPQ. So YPQ and VP is what here? YPQ is GPQ minus JBPQ and VP is EP plus JFP. Then we have seen the flowchart for a Gauss-Seidel method. First we have to start, read in system data and formulate nodal admittance matrix. Assume bus voltage Vp is 1 plus J0 for all buses except P is equal to S, where Vs is A plus J0. Set iteration count K is equal to 0. Compute AP for all load buses and BPQ for all buses. Then set convergence criterion, mod of delta Vmax is epsilon. Set bus count is P is equal to 1. Then next check if it is a slack bus. Yes means go to advance P is equal to P plus 1. No means check whether if it is a generator bus. Yes means replace temporarily mod Vp by Vp specified. No means calculate voltage equation Vp K plus 1. Then replace temporarily Vp by Vp specified by phase angle. As in this iteration, calculate the phase angle of voltage, that is cos delta P and sin delta P, and evaluate adjusted voltage EP and FP. Calculate reactive power QP. If QP is less than QP minimum, then replace QP is equal to QP minimum. No means if you check whether if QP is greater than QP max. Yes means replace QP as QP max. No means replace VP mod VP by mod VP specified. Then evaluate AP. Solve the voltage equation Vpk plus 1. Calculate delta Vpk. Replace Vpk by Vpk plus 1. Advance bus count by P is equal to P plus 1. If all the buses are taken into account, then evaluate mod of delta Vmax, that is largest of absolute voltage difference. If mod of delta Vmax is less than or equal to epsilon, yes means evaluate line flows and slack bus power. No means set K is equal to K plus 1. Again go back to this, setting the bus count as P equal to 1, checking again slack bus or generator bus or not. Okay. So but one disadvantage we have seen here, that so many steps are there here. So many steps are there. So it is a time consuming process. And So the process of convergence can be speeded up if the voltage correction during consecutive iteration is modified to Vp accelerated. K plus 1 is Vpk plus alpha, Vpk plus 1 minus Vpk. Alpha is the acceleration factor and it is a real number. And after doing so many trial load flows, we have found out alpha value to be 1.6. It is recommended for most of the systems. But we have to note one point, that if wrong selection of alpha will result in slower convergence and sometimes even result in divergence from the solution. Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching the video. Next class we are going to see the numerical based on the Gauss-Seidel method. Thank you.